What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about the top 5 short squeeze stocks that you need to add to your watch list going into this upcoming week. So I'm going to go over all the things that you need to know, but first make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So starting off though with data points, this week it's going to be a fairly volatile week. And of course, if things go according to plan, you could see the market really move to the next leg up, really putting shorts in a very difficult scenario. And a lot of the stocks I'm going to be talking on have been gaining some pretty good momentum leading into this week. So starting off with data points, you do have a couple ones on Monday and Tuesday, but it's going to be really Wednesday going forward. That's what everyone pays attention to. So interest rate decision on Wednesday, it's fair to assume that there won't be any cut, but what is stated afterwards is definitely going to really move the market. Thursday GDP, and then you're capping it all off on Friday with PCE. That's even aside from Apple, Intel, Meta, Microsoft, Tesla, all of them unveiling their earnings this week. Again, Wednesday going forward. So it's going to be a crazy ride. But getting right to it, stock number 5, ticker is OPFI, sitting at $12.64. Up 4.98% just on Friday alone. Over the last 1 year, up 267%. A lot of good information here that I'm not necessarily going to go over, but this is the company profile in case you are curious. Consumer Finance, Chicago. And I actually did record they did a fireside chat recently. And to be honest, this company seemed very interesting. I tweeted SoFi saying, why don't they partner with them? Because I think it'd be a very good all-around addition to it. But as far as on this video, we're here because of it being heavily shorted and just kind of a good squeeze play. So just in case you're new to the channel, I don't just pick heavily shorted stocks. I will look for ones that have, for instance, a high DTC, good price momentum, a good cost to borrow, and number of shares being shorted. So it's a good all-around squeeze stock, not just like heavily shorted stocks. So short score 75.44, higher the number, the higher likelihood of squeeze happening. Lately, shorts have been very reactive to the price moving higher, so they've been doubling down. Hasn't really helped all that much in their case though. So it did go from roughly 6% short interest to where it is now at 20.4%. On Friday, shorts didn't really do all that much. They increased 3,000 shares, but there's 3.73 million shares overall being shorted. And then through IBKR does indicate around 70,000 shares is available to be shorted. The reason why I bring that up is if you get very limited supply, you might see some corresponding buying coming from big names such as BlackRock, Vanguard, and so forth, as they like to lend out shares or buy stocks of this nature just to lend out. So regardless, this is stock number 5. Moving on to stock number 4, ticker SDGR, Schrodinger, if I'm saying that right, $24.67, did go up 1.07 on Friday. Over the last 1 year, it is down 9.13%. This is what they do. And so based out of New York, healthcare technologies, 867 employees, but 75.63% is that short score. 16.48% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 9.64 million shares. Cost of our average is very low though, mind you. So 0.54, that's why you have a little bit of a short score. DTC though is 12.21 days. So that's factoring in the average volume and number of shares being shorted. So 9.64 million shares. So that is why you definitely need to look at this one. And despite the recent price performance, which has been relatively good in the short term, shorts have been continuously increasing. So this has been occurring for the greater part of the last year. So let me know your viewpoint on that. And then looking here, there is roughly around 2 million shares available to be shorted. So most likely you won't be seeing any buying because of that, because there's already a sufficient amount of shares. But regardless, this is stock number 4. Moving on to stock number 3, a very interesting one, and that is this right here. And Pineapple Financial, ticker is PAPL, sitting at 56 cents, did go up 1.38% on Friday. Over the last 1 year, though, it is down 66.33. Over the last 5 days, though, it is gaining some pretty good momentum, up 19.58%. This is what they do. So company profile, commercial and residential mortgage finance based out of North York. But As far as this goes, 8.4% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 440,000 shares. So that's kind of what the market likes to squeeze, is low float companies such as this. Short score 79.25, DTC 2.65, also, or 2.6, sorry. And on a side note, there's a lot of other good information up top here that I don't necessarily go over, but just looking for face value based on this, shares on loan, 497,000 shares, and 440 is being shorted. That is very, very tight. So kind of overextended a little bit. But as of right now, there's around 50,000 shares available to be shorted. So this is where you could see some corresponding buying as a byproduct of that. So this is stock number 3. Moving on to stock number 2 as quantum computing, ticker QUBT, sitting at $10.93. Did go down 1.71 on Friday. Over the last 1 year though, up a very impressive 1,000+%. Over the last 5 days, relatively flat, but this is what they do if you are curious again. But aside from that, 81.25 is that short score, utilization 94.04. It is on the threshold list, so it's been on the threshold list, it looks like, since roughly December the 24th. So in theory, the SEC should be doing something, going after the market makers to rectify this. But obviously the SEC usually drops the ball quite a lot. Cost to borrow average is very high, 235.97%. That is an annual rate, not a daily rate. 16.89% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 17.47 million shares. And ultimately, they increased 140,000 shares on Friday. Through IBKR does indicate roughly around 3,000 shares is available to be shorted. So this definitely fits that criteria where you could see some buying from, let's say, a lot of the big names just to lend out. So again, that could be coming this week. And moving on to stock number 1, you have ticker DOGZ, DOGZ International Corporation. Very unique, interesting name. Sitting at 25.72, did go up 2.27% on Friday. Over the last 1 year, it is up 663%. Got hit a little bit recently. That's because of potential tariffs and whatever else. It is based out of China. Apparel, accessories, and luxury goods is that industry. But 83.9 is that short score, utilization 85.37, 22.29% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 370,000 shares overall are being shorted. Cost to borrow average is very high, 105.53%. And then through this right here, you can kind of see shorts have been all over the place. Doesn't seem to correlate all that much with the stock price. So they're just doing their thing. Ultimately, DTC, on a side note, is 1.78 days. And then through IBKR, you can kind of see that there's roughly 1,000 shares available to be shorted. So once again, you could see some buying just to lend out, take advantage of that juicy cost to borrow. So let me know your thoughts on the top 5. Do you own any of them? And is there any other squeeze stocks that you feel is worthwhile to kind of take note of for this upcoming week, and potentially which ones? So throw some tickers in the description below. This week, regardless, is going to be absolutely insane with all the data points, companies unveiling their earnings. So it should make for a very, very fun time. But one final thing, I did launch a Patreon roughly around 2 months ago, and I give buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. In that 2 months, many stocks have already doubled, some have quadrupled, so definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.